Hey, friendos, welcome back. Hey, I think I saw Zen and Evan and Static. I've got hardcore vacation brain. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to play games. I don't want to work on anything. So I'm just gonna work on these projects instead. That's kind of counterintuitive. I don't want to work on anything, so let's work on some stuff. I don't want to sit down and play video games, I guess. There comes a time in everyone's life where, for one moment, they don't desire to play video game. Sounds crazy, I know, I'm sorry. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do today. I guess I'm gonna start with the last boo, and then we'll just fuck around. I know, heresy, I know. And I feel bad, because once again I promised DK and I am not following through. But... I wanted to stream today because I'm not going to be able to be on tomorrow or the next day, but I didn't, want to stream today. Fuck. Some, rattle in my chest. I want to go outside and plant flowers, but it's just not reasonable for me to do that. Hey, Heartbreak 3, welcome. I should really wait until next week, but, well, really the week after next week, but I don't want to. I want to do it now! Alright, every single time we do this, I forget what we've already had. What we've already done, so... Let me get my super lube out of the way. Oh, we did finish one. That's nice. Yay, us! Minimum. Okay, so I think we have the other... We must have the other sad one to do today. Oh, sorry, you can't see in those. Well, I mean... I should wait to go out of my way to spend a lot of money on plants that then I have to transfer into the ground when I have free time to do that. And we have a... We took down the bush out front, which is great, but I haven't built the planter that I want to replace the bush. So if I go buy a bunch of stuff right today, then I have to either go back later after we finish this planter, or... I don't know. And the nursery the nursery I really like is inconveniently far away from where we currently live. Listen, it was overgrown. I was sick of it. I keep sitting on the couch after the stream is over and thinking that I'm going to work on my big sewing project, and then I keep doing 3 stitches of it and going, I don't wanna. I need a vacation. Grid mode half of the back lawn today. The other half I have to get rid of a bunch of sticks and twigs and shit. Okay, hold on. It is... Sad face. Oh, you know what? It's this guy. Really, we have to do this guy. I just have to do it different than that. So that's kind of a... Spoiler alert. Maybe I'll put the spoiler up here so you can't see it. Actually, that's not right anyway. Well, it'll be different colors. They are just a bunch of mindless pink stitches. They are. I don't have to do any work. Also, I guess my living room isn't really a convenient place to sew. The light is not. We don't have an overhead light in there. I have a couple lamps, but not... They're more for ambiance. Remember how I was really excited that I got my car fixed for, like, way cheap? Yeah, well, I got my bike in today. I'm glad my car was cheap. Holy shit. Oh, excuse me, Twitch. Why did you crash? Come on. Dank chat? The Twitch chat app that Grid put on here is called Dank Chat, and it has a Pepe Frog as the icon. I am quite sure that this was just because it was the one that Grid found that worked. Well, okay, sure. I guess. I don't know. I literally keep clicking into Twitch instead of trying to use the app just because that's what I'm familiar with and Twitch is right on the homepage. Grid took my phone and installed this whenever, I don't know, a week or two ago. I'm sure he just looked up mobile Twitch chat app. Oh my god, we are watching the Weather Channel in 1997. So when I dropped my bike off today, it's at literally a Harley shop. And it was a beautiful day, so all of the riders were out, and there were literally like 6 guys who just pulled in right before me on these, you know, big-ass Harleys. All just going, what the fuck is this weird-looking pink-haired girl doing? And I, like, disassociated way too hard, way harder than I had to. When I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna look at anybody or anything. I am just focused completely on nothing beyond the tiny barrier of my skin at this moment. Please, God, let me look like I know what I'm doing. I can't handle this. A repository of Weather Channel music. That sounds delightful. I really hate... I feel like I've said this before, but I really hate fighting with imposter syndrome. Especially around, like, large groups of older men, which I don't do very well with. I'm there to bring my bike in and tell them that I need an inspection, and I need an oil change, and I would like a tune-up, and I need new tires. And then I get there and I start panicking, and I'm like, how many tires does a motorcycle have? I don't know. Do they even have tires? I don't know. What if they don't have tires? What if I ask them for tires and bikes don't actually have tires? What if... And then after I leave the miasma of panic, I'm just like, you idiot. Hey, Samuel! No, I just didn't know what I was gonna do today. I don't really have anything out on the desk other than sewing and controller repair, but I wanted to indicate that I did not know where the day would take us, so mostly the short answer is that I was just joking. Oh, preheating the oven for pizza is the worst. How dare you? I want pizza now. Even if I could just, like, throw the pizza in, that would be fine, but, like, having to wait to throw the pizza in, that's a whole fucking extra step. Come on. I ate the mozzarella sticks that Grid brought home for me last night. They were satisfying. I don't know what either of us are gonna have for dinner now, but... Nice. That made me so happy. So many people were like, I'm eating barbecue chicken. I felt like the best kind of influencer. Thank you for giving me that gift. I am the barbecue chicken influencer. Oh, fuck that, Samuel. Pass. Or how about rather, come over to my house and you do that here. Thanks. I don't want to cook. I barely want to eat. I just... Is this wrong? Yes. Okay, great. That definitely counts, Steph. Absolutely. I'm so excited to get all of my actors out of here. I'm so excited for them to leave so that I can turn the phone off. Why did that crash too? Like, the whole Twitch app crashed twice when I first turned my my phone on. Although, again, this is my silly chat phone, my old chat phone. I can see you now. You cannot hide from me. Quick, streamer can't see. Post your credit card number. I was gonna say your social security number, but I don't want your fucking identity. I can't deal with mine. Try to steal your identity, I end up with more debt somehow? Like, extra debt? So next week should be the same, or next week should be normal. But the 2 weeks after that, I am on vacation. As you were like, yes, Alla, we've fucking heard. Thanks. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna stream for 2 weeks, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit more flexible and low-key. As opposed to either forcing myself to stream when I don't want to, or panicking unduly when I can't stream. I'm going to try to have just a normal life. For 2 weeks. My, the unfortunate thing for me about streaming is that the slot I have picked is, like, my favorite part of the day. It's the part of the day also where I'm usually, generally speaking, the sharpest. Which sucks for me, and is kind of embarrassing, considering. But, I really like spending the twilight hours in the outside. So, I'm gonna try to do that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Hopefully. Oh no, and then I'll be coming back to normal hours right before, or right during GDQ. Dumbass. Oh, you know what we have to do? We have to do more bobbin winding. I appreciate that, Samro. I need water. Tino is curled up in the smallest ball just on the floor in the hall. He was just completely dead asleep until I touched him. I shouldn't have touched him, but like, buddy, you have so many beds. Why are you this way? $2.25. Okay, apparently you get no story during the bobbin wind today because there's sewing going on. I don't know. This is actually the last boo, and then I can stop. There haven't been like 3 undiscovered boos since we did. Yeah, a lot of actually Grid has 3D printed me a bobbin winder. I'm not sure if it was like he printed it really fast and it maybe wasn't the right material, or if they just don't work very well, but it also just didn't work very well. And also a lot of the floss cases come with bobbin winders. It's just like a little, it looks like a little, you have a handle and you have a knob and it puts the bobbin on the end and it spins it around. The problem is you still kind of need a third hand. You've got to hold on to it, you've got to twist it, and you have to make sure that the bobbin is the right tension and it's going up and down. So like, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It takes so little time, it's just not worth it. Yeah, but then it makes it a little less simple. My yarn winder does the up and down, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I finally got a yarn winder, which was really cool, so I can make those super hipster, cute, like, they're called cakes of yarn instead of skeins. I wish I bought... I don't know, I bought one that is supposed to clamp to the table. Some of them don't. I wish I had bought one that was just supposed to rest on the table, because it is too the wrong shape to clamp to most of the places that I find myself trying to wind yarn at. And then I still need to hold on to the yarn as it's winding so that I maintain the right tension, or else my yarn cake is just all loose and floppy. Oh, that's a deep cut, Sito. Although I suppose the meme goes around enough that maybe it's not a deep cut. Took me a second. I had to like blink before I got the joke. All right. On the plus side of the big boring pink project, I feel like my stitches are getting neater because I'm having to do so many of the exact same color right next to each other that I'm finding it I'm being able to practice making them repeatedly more uniform as opposed to like doing one stitch and then the next stitch is a different color. So I had to swap floss and go somewhere else or blah 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 blah. So, you know, improving my skills is, I mean, stupid and I hate it and I don't want to do that, but if I did, it'd be cool. You know how I keep saying we have so many things to get rid of, like we have to clean out, we have to have a garage sale. So many of my neighbors this weekend are having garage sales. I probably should have had one this weekend. Would have been a smart time, but I was planning to have mine next weekend. But that's not going to stop Grit and I from walking around and looking at everybody's garage sales. Maybe we could buy different stuff. Does anybody watch Dairy Girls? I keep seeing photo sets and GIFs on Tumblr and it looks really funny. But I need specific recommendations. Oh, we definitely, fly the pirate flag in the monkey household. It's Derry as in Derry as in it's a town in Ireland. It's also a town in Maine, but not about the main one. Yes. Oh, apparently Grid picked up, Mario Kart, the original Super Smash, and Mario Party. I have 2-player games now. 64. I'm sorry, I meant all 64 games. All of the games that I have said are Nintendo 64 games. It's the only one I have. Well, I guess I keep forgetting about Super Mario Kart, which is like its own brand of thing. But Mario Kart 64, I was the last Mario Kart that I was ever good at. I'm sorry, I thought I had said N64 games, but I did not. Fuck. Toad's Turnpike, man. That's my best course. I went to a very religious babysitter growing up, and I hated being at her house. She had a young son who, like, adored me, and I, even when I was a kid, hated kids. I hated kids younger than me, and I hated also being friends with people. Wasn't good at that. So her son would, like... And her son would touch me all the time. Like, he would just come over and, like, snuggle with me on the couch. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Just don't touch me. I don't care. You're like 5 and I'm like 12. Just, I don't want to cuddle. Stop. But, she had an N64. Right? Like, I don't wanna. I'm not here for this. And there was obviously no support about, like, personal boundaries or anything. It was always just like, oh, that's so cute. Look at the kids. They love each other. Oh, that's cool. I like that, Sitho. Why didn't Han Solo enjoy his steak dinner? It was too chewy? Right, yes. I got stuck on touchy. Sorry. But anyway, she would occasionally, very rarely, let us play... Okay, I say very rarely. Inexplicably, she loved to deny me the opportunity to play video games. The other boys who were at the daycare, they were allowed to play video games. Which was not because... It was just for no reason whatsoever. She would run, like, a book contest every year, and a number of books you got, like, points and you got prizes. I had to stop participating because I fucking wrecked them every single year. Just destroyed her. Cleaned this woman out. But I'm the one who can't play more video games, I guess. Anyway. The boys were better practiced than I was, obviously. But I could occasionally sweep them on Toad's Turnpike. Gramps didn't have 2-player games. Right? Oh, I remember the horrible, horrible day that she had, I think I was like 12, so my brother must have been 4, and her daughter at that point I think was like 16, 15 or 16, and the daughter for like the whole year decided she didn't want to talk. I was never clear why. So she would like talk without opening her lips. And if you're questioning how you do that, you don't. That's how you do that. I don't know. And I got caught in the wake of the hyper-religious husband coming home and like lecturing both of us about, I think, purity, but I disassociated real hard. I just like came in to the living room to read my book halfway through the monologue and then felt too uncomfortable to leave. See, I'm really upset because I never knew about Pizza Hut's, like, fucking read a book for a personal pan pizza program. Like, nobody ever told me that. I was in the era. I would have got so much free pizza. We were so poor back then. I would have helped out. I can read books. I can still read them. I can read them real good. I think in 4th grade, they gave us the reading list they gave us a reading list over the summer. Oh no. They gave us a reading list for like the quarter or something. And we were supposed to read the books kind of self-propelled through the quarter. I think there were 7 books on the list. I think 4 of them were mandatory and the rest of them were, or you had to pick 4 or something. And I'm pretty sure I read all 7 of them in the week. And then they were like, well, escapism. I wonder why I don't read as many books these days, but it's because I play video games now. Escapism is now digital. Oh, I didn't mind school reading list books. I would read anything. The only school reading list book I hated was The Scarlet Letter, and I'd actually read that one by myself previously. I could get something out of just about anything. Oh, see, I loved reading aloud. I hated listening to other kids read aloud because I was like, I can do better than you. Fuck you. And I never got called on. I also never got asked to be the line leader because the teacher would start at the top of the alphabet during the beginning of the year, and then we'd never get to the end of the alphabet in the beginning of the year. Or by the end of the year. One year, I got a teacher to promise that she'd do it backwards. She'd start at the last letter. We didn't. Bitches. Oh, yeah, so like when you all in, I think it was like kindergarten and first grade or something, when you all walk to lunch, you gotta walk in a line. And there's an order that you gotta walk in. Well, I mean, there's not an order. There's one person who gets to lead the line. And that's the line leader. You're chosen. There's a rotating privilege. Yeah, zealotous, exactly. Once I won a whole ass medal for writing an essay, an anti-drug essay for DARE. I stayed up the night before and shit out the most embarrassing, hilarious, ass-kissing drivel that I have ever written before in my life. And I knew that that's what that was at that point. I was like, this is garbage. And then I won the competition. And I'm just like, wow. Trying is stupid. Oh boy. That's a, you know, that's a thing to remember. There we go. I read The Giver. Did not read Journey to the Center of the Earth. Interesting that you'd read Maximum Ride, though. Seems a little... Well, I guess I can make an argument. I guess Anthem is the only one I'm not familiar with. Okay. I'd always get myself in trouble because I'd read my English book, like, more than necessary before we got given books and were just instead given, like, an English textbook. I would just read that because it was always acceptable for that to be on your desk, no matter what class you were in. It was, like, textbook shaped, so theoretically you're looking at a textbook, so you're not going to get yelled at, so I could read that one. And then when we would get to the stories that we were supposed to be reading in it, I would just well, fuck, I already read this. That's the truth. Well, I can't speed up my hands, so I don't know how to help. I have considered doing time lapses, but I don't know. Unless I'm gonna get into Twitter or on Instagram, there's no point. And if I do either of those things, I think I'll die, so... You know, it's so silly. I was talking with my boss yesterday. We were discussing subscriptions and subscribing to patrons who subscribe to theaters, their services like theaters. And I was trying to describe my situation as a millennial. And I'm like, hey, just about now, sort of, almost, I have the impression that myself and my peers have gotten maybe a fingernail on the ledge of the American dream, sort of. So I haven't been able to subscribe to things like a theater season before now, but I kind of almost can do that now. Part of it's been just because of money. Part of it has been because you don't want to commit to paying several $100s for a season of shows if you have an an extremely unreliable schedule and you can't guarantee that you're going to actually be able to get the time off to go see them. Or, I've always really been excited and interested in events happening in my community, so especially local arts, but it's hard to get involved in your community if you move around a lot. By the time you've figured out, you don't feel any investment in your community if you're not there for very long and if you don't plan to be there for very long. So all of those things kind of conspire to make it harder on younger patrons to subscribe, and subscriptions are truly the backbone of any arts organization. Doesn't matter if it's a nonprofit like we are or if it's a for-profit. Based on your subscribers, you can make your budget. You can't guarantee, you can't count on single ticket buyers, so you can't make plans based on them, Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, she was talking about our marketing plans and how our marketing happens, and was talking about Instagram and Facebook and how we promote things on Instagram and Facebook, and she just kept all looking at me. And I'm like, I don't have either one of those anymore. I'm so sorry. Hey, Andulas, thank you. Don't look to me to be the Instagram person. I don't. Smart. I got off of Facebook a couple years ago. It was a great decision for me. After like 3 days, I didn't regret it. Instagram was a little bit more insidious because I still really want to use Instagram. I want to share my cute little pictures of my cute little things that I make. I think that would be fun. But the Instagram algorithm makes me want to die. And their constant, never-ending video scroll makes me want to die faster. At least on Tumblr, there is... I can curate the people that I follow, and I only see things from the people that I follow, and that amount of things has an endpoint. Unless I follow 1 million people, but that's my prerogative, I gave Instagram up just a couple weeks ago, and like, you literally can't even... You can follow people on Instagram, and there is a following tab, but it just chooses to show you whatever it wants. It doesn't put your follows, it doesn't put posts that people have made in chronological order. Sometimes it just doesn't show you some of them sometimes. It likes to show you random other shit. Like, you might like this. I'm like, yeah, this is my following tab. I do still choose to follow you, yeah. You're funny. And you post good art. Terrible. Terrible. held on to it for so long because I figured, you know, well, not I figured, it's reality. If you want to be found on the internet, you have to diversify your platform. The end. That's it. And Twitch is very niche. But at the same time, Twitch is very niche, so the chances of me finding anybody who are interested in my Twitch channel on Instagram are probably pretty fucking low anyway, so who cares? My best shot, I think, was Twitter, and that... I'm sorry, X-Corp. Twish. That's so fancy. Ugh. See, I can't imagine TikTok is any better. I have never even... I have gone to the site TikTok like 3 times total. Once I consumed the entire backlog of B. Dylan Hollis videos, and the other 2 times Sarah has sent me direct links to TikToks that she wanted me to watch. Otherwise, I let Tumblr curate my TikTok consumption. If the post has escaped containment to the level that it gets to me on Tumblr, then I like watching it. Because there's not another video after it. It's just the one video. I still love Tumblr. Tumblr is the last social media... Well, I'm sorry, it's not a social media site, it's a blogging site. Tumblr is the last site that I have. Until they bring back Xanga. Actually, that's a lie. They might have already. Xanga might still be a thing. I don't know. I was considering getting on Mastodon. Well, actually, I think I might have made a Mastodon a while ago. I don't remember. Not even recently, like a couple of years ago. I might have poached my username. But it's not even that I don't want to learn how to use it, which I don't. I don't want to learn how to use it, but mostly I just don't want to replace a horrible time sink that I hate with another horrible time sink that I hate. I think I was. I think that's when that would have been when I got one. Or I might have, like, looked at it and opened it a bunch of times and then never actually made an account. I don't remember. I don't even remember how to find it if I did. Just trying every angle, aren't you, Sika? Oh, good. Thanks, Dev. It horrifies me to think of how many, like, dead accounts I have in this world. Oh my god, I still remember. I was so upset. For some fucking, like, 100 level... I think it was media literacy or some shit in college. We had to make... It was a group project to make a WordPress. I don't know why. I don't remember what the goal was. I don't remember anything except... They put my picture and my full name up there without even considering. Without asking me or considering or anything. And this was long enough ago that it was still don't put your full name on the internet time. I know, like, 12-year-olds love to post their actual specific coordinate location and their social security number out there now, which is awful, but it was long enough ago that I was just baffled that that was a fucking option. I don't know how to get into that site. Or take it down. I don't know if it still exists. Try not to think about it. I didn't know that YouTube Shorts were a thing. I try not to spend any time on YouTube. Other than, she says, uploading her videos to YouTube. I go to very specific YouTubes and I watch very specific videos. And otherwise, mostly actually Grid curates my YouTube video experience because I watch things he watches. And by watch, I mean I play Pokemon Go on my phone until I fall asleep while his YouTube videos are playing. And then I yell at him and I say, I don't want to watch Vintage Beef tonight. I'd rather watch Direwolf. Actually, I have a very strict hierarchy of videos that I like to watch that I get really mad if Grid doesn't wait for me to watch them. Read my card, Sitho. DNI. I can almost kind of understand if you're going to use your full name if you're selling something professionally or if you're an artist. Because if you want people in the real world to find you, it's going to be under your name. I get that. I don't love it, but I get it. Ugh. Oh god, I wonder if my grandma's Facebook is still up. I don't care. I don't care. Well, don't worry. Scan your driver's license for your Twitter Blue subscription. I'm sure there won't be a data breach. That would be crazy. Yeep. I bought more little embroidery hoops, so that's good. I just want to go back to a time, like, I still love the internet and I still really love doing Twitch, so I'm clearly banking on people still being attached to the internet as we know it, but I just want to live in a world where I don't feel like I have to get up and check the internet. I used to live in a world like that. I'm starting to resent my computer the way I resent my cell phone. We're almost done with the light gray. I do remember that. I remember sitting down without worrying I was gonna sit and without worrying that I was gonna break something that was in my back pocket. Remember not worrying so much about getting wet unexpectedly? I knew it as soon as I said it. I was like, that was a mistake. Oh shoot, did you pay for the did you buy the quote ad in the thing? I have to go through and look at that. It hasn't not gotten added. Well, I mean it hasn't gotten added, but it's still there. Don't worry. I just have to like remember that I set that up and go through and add them. when I turn off the stream at night, I like yeet myself away from the computer. Like, nope, I'm done. Let's go turn on the computer in the living room and watch things on TV. Oh no, we should get a pair for that one. We should get a second emote. Oh shoot, I have to go get my white. Hang on. The last couple days now when I walk, can't tell where it is that's making the clicking noise, but it's either like my lower back or somewhere in my pelvis, and it just goes click, click, click. It's great. Love it. I love the inevitable decay of the human form. Oh my god. I don't even know how long it's been. Where are we? I would have died of starvation already. Nice. Ooh, nice. I'm sorry, a morning board game session sounds horrible. It should be plus Discord. We like confusing people. I wonder if we should just switch back. Perfect. I love it. Perfect, yeah. Not all of them, though, just some of them. Just a couple. Keep it fresh and spicy. Nope, that was dumb. I bet if I go through the same hole that I just went through, except the opposite way, I bet things will work out. My goodness, why is it coming undone? I wonder what my neighbors think about every night from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. having one room of my front windows just absolutely blazing. My overhead lights are so bright. This is the sun room. This is the room where the sun lives. I think we could definitely do the Angry Sun from Mario. I think that would be fun. I just love sewing pixel sprites. I love it so much. Need another plague so that I have unlimited free time to do that. Honestly, I was thinking, I said to Grid today, I was like, Grid, I think I want to do all of the rooms video game themed. And he's like, excuse me? And I'm like, no, well look, the living room is already kind of Zelda themed because I've got, I think I posted a picture of it when it was finished, but it's, to be fair, it's not quite the Breath of the Wild blue. It's a little bit more teal than that, but it's blue and yellow, Zelda colors. I've got that wooden Triforce mirror piece on the wall that looks, if you are a nerd, like a Triforce, and if you are not a nerd, it looks like a hipster wall hanging thing that I got from Target, which it is. I've got a big mirror in there now. It's a big round mirror, and it's got a tree, like, it's a wood-framed mirror, and it's got a tree taking up part of the mirror space in wood. And I'm like, ah, that part's the Deku tree. There's lots of greenery in here, like, you know, Hyrule, Koroks, whatever. Yahaha. What if I did every room just like super obtuse video game house? What if I themed the kitchen after Mario, except you had to be like next level big brain to see it? Even better, Samuel. I love it. I don't like Cooking Mama. That's not a game on my personal roster. I would definitely want a Kirby's Dream, or like a Kirby Dreamland theme, but that would just, I think, be color palette based. That would be so easy. My problem with Mario is, like, I have too many design ideas, but they're all, like, Pinterest mom-based, and I don't like any of them. Oh, how many years? I took this up during the pandemic, so 2021? 2 years? What year is it now? 2020 or 2 or 3 years. When are we? See, what other franchises do I like? That would make sense to decorate a room about. Metal Gear Solid. I mean, I feel like you could probably do a pretty solid, comprehensible Dark Souls with, like, even with just dark tones and then gold accents or something like that. Oh, you learned Korean. Nice. I did not learn any languages. I was like, what other games do I like? And I was thinking of Witchwood today because Limited Run is doing a PlayStation Limited Run of print copies of Witchwood, which is cool. I missed it on Super Rare because I think Super Rare did the Switch version. Might have been Limited Run. I don't know. Somebody did a Switch version and I missed it. I don't know why I don't like to buy Xbox or PlayStation games. I think because I'm the last gen. I'm not on the new gen of either one of them. And it's not like the Switch is newer, because I know it's not, but also the difference between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, like, I just don't care about it. I don't care. It's got more processing power. I don't care. It's a different box. The Switch at least feels novel enough that it's worth buying a game for. Something happened. What happened? Rhino, hello! Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Armored Core 6? What? I don't know what that is. Mech Souls sounds terrible to me, personally. I'm excited for anybody who's interested. Sounds like my nightmare. Tears of the Kingdom BattleBots sounded bad enough. Oh my god, I'm so close. Damn it. Might as well just tie off now. Oh, huh. Yeah, I doubt it. Listen, if I play Bloodborne, I'll be proud of myself. I keep forgetting I bought it. Every time I look at the game, I'm just like, ah, how did that get here? Messy Pixels. Hello. Alright, alright. Sweet. Okay, no more tangles. We're getting there on these floss skeins. If I accomplish nothing else today, it will be at least we're getting somewhere on those. Man, I want to like lay down on the couch and watch TV, but whenever I do that, I just fall asleep. There's no TV watching. It just... my eyes... they go down. I have turned into my grandfather. His ghost pervades this house, and I have become him. Every time is nap time. Oh my god, I think we finished all the booze. Why does that look so dirty? Woohoo! We are a success! We are definitely Dancer. Man, that's a good album. I love The Killers. That's my favorite album. Wait, no. Day and Age is my favorite album. Is that the one with humans on it? I love The Killers. Okay. So we get rid of this guy. I'll have to put this one up by him lonesome. So we've got our one finished. Did we... Okay, yes, we did fray check the ends of this one. We could fray check some other ends. Is this... This isn't centered. Do I have any other... Oh, I have one more hoop. Okay. You just started? Awesome! I love cross-stitch. It is very fun, and I love the tiny frames. Like a classic? Ooh, that hurts me. I think it's like 2008. Ouch. It's not even as old as their, Somebody told me you got a boyfriend. Looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year. Oof. Oof. You wound me. My ancient bones cannot take this abuse. Oh, I always read that as like coming out bisexual. Maybe it's whatever we need it to be. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah. That part. Wait, which one am I thinking of? I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different song. What's the song where she touches his dick, but they don't say dick? Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. That's by somebody else. It's not even by the Killers. I'm sorry, I was somewhere else. You're right, Sitho. You're always right. It is by the Killers. Listen, now I've just confused myself to such an extent. They let people on the internet say anything. I know, I'm one of them. Mr. Brightside, thank you. I deserve this. This scorn and criticism. I deserve it. Okay, the saxophone has penetrated my awareness, but in a bad way. Well, there's Somebody Told Me, and then there's Mr. Brightside, and then there's Human, which is Are We Human or Are We Dancer? There's Neon Tiger, which is my favorite. There's Day and Age. There's Dustland Fairy Tale. That one used to make me sad. I just like the Killers. Ooh, I haven't heard that one. I think Sam's Town was the album I didn't like. Or am I thinking of All American Rejects now? I don't remember. My brain makes very absolutely incomprehensible connections sometimes, especially about music, because it makes connections based on what else I was doing when I was first listening to that album. As opposed to anything else. Where's my freight check? Do I not have freight check out here? I thought I did. No. Oh no. No. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to order more freight check. Alas. Yeah, that's why I always I always hated Pandora. People are always like, "Oh, it makes playlists based on what you like to listen to," and I was like, "Yeah, but the songs that I like to listen to together don't make any sense together. Not even like orally. They're just." Huh. Songs that make sense to listen to together. Fuck, where is all of my stuff? Hold on. Found it. Oh, please, just a little more. Well, that wasn't just a little. Great. Yeah. I can't think of a better solution than, well, let me rephrase. I'm so tired of I don't know. I'm so tired of the not streaming parts of Twitch that I just don't want to put in any effort to fucking find more music. Cuz it's like you have to, it's always whatever you find works for 10 minutes and then it sucks. Hey, Pessimistic Snake. So like Pretzel Rocks was great for 10 minutes. And then now it kind of sucks, and this is the only channel I can listen to that doesn't feel so repetitive that... Well, the thing about Pretzel Rocks that sucks is that I don't really want to go whiplashing through my music choices, but everything else is locked behind a paywall, and their subscription price is bonkers. And I've given up caring whether or not I get, like, the basic level copyright strikes on YouTube. Just fucking mute it, move on. I would like it to make more sense here. During in my road trip playlist, it can be absolute whiplash, that's fine. But, I don't know, that's my problem. I don't have any new art, I don't have any new emotes, I'm just tired. I'm tired, I don't want to do that work. I never really wanted to do that work, but sometimes I found inspiration or excitement or at least a little initiative, but I don't have any of that right now. I just don't fucking wanna. I feel so bad. I really need to commission some new art and make some, like, half-decent merch so I can look Craig in the face ever. Not be an absolute loss leader for the poor guy. Also, the artist that did our three-eyed cat drawing, like, fucking ghosted me, and it pissed me off really, really bad, and I really hate that piece of art now. I was so excited to work with them, and they didn't just ghost me once, they ghosted me twice. Like, they drew that sticker for me, and it was great, and they were also going to do a desktop, or like a wallpaper background, like a start screen background. And I had a lot of ideas, and I did a lot of work finding reference pictures and talking about it, and then they just didn't. And then they messaged me at a certain point, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I had like a really bad mental health time, and I just kind of stopped doing all my commissions. I got really overwhelmed, but I'm back now, and, you know, I'm getting back to where I am. And I'm like, hey, that sounds great, don't worry about it. it totally happens. I wasn't under a time constraint. It's totally fine. No big deal. And then they just never answered me again and kept streaming other people's commissions. And it just made me so fucking angry. But I like to be... I don't know. I had a high school acquaintance who liked to vague blog about me all the time, so I like to not... I tried very hard to just not talk about the situation when it happened. This was a couple years ago at this point. I just didn't want to talk about it at all because I knew if I started to talk about it, then I would say names and just be really salty. Like, I don't care if somebody can't finish a project. I really don't. But fucking don't ghost me about it. Or if you don't want to do a project, that's fine. The internet, it's fine. And this is why I prefer to get art from community members if at all possible. Because even if they don't end up actually giving me art, they are wonderful community members. Can't ghost me if you like watching my channel. Can I get one more out of this? Maybe. Oh, it's gonna be tight. No! I need you. We can get there, we're so close. Okay. Buy more Freycheck. God, it would be awful if I had just a workspace covered in little black specks of shit. Especially if I were working with nice, clean, white Ida and mostly white sewn ghosts. Yeah, the X is where I keep trying to make sure. I tend to, like, pull my projects down here and work on them just inside of the camera view. So the white line is, Alidus, don't put your hands past this point, and the X is, ideally, this is where you would like to work. I want to get a cooler sticker. Oh no. This one's gonna be a little spicy. I don't want this. That is so messy. Nobody posts this video on Etsy when I inevitably list these for sale. Okay, you've had the concept of glue blown across you. All right. Get in there, you bastard. Need a thimble sometimes just to like manhandle this needle through all these layers and all the glue. Got that tangled really well. Oh well. Oh shit, I should have probably tied off before this. We'll leave it for now and tuck it in a minute. Ah! Oh, I hate this part so much. I just... Fucking hate doing the backs. Euro fun. Okay, this one will actually be fine. I mean... unless whoever ends up with it decides to, like, play with it incessantly. If it is hung on a wall the way it is meant to be displayed, it will be fine. Night, Andulas. Thanks for hanging out. Take care. Oh man, now I'm still thinking about that friggin' art situation. I think the thing that pissed me off about it the most was that they just kept doing other people's commissions. Like, if you fall off the face of the earth and stop doing everything, I get it. But I can see you streaming. I can see you. I follow you. Actually, I think that was really the only thing that irritated me about it. Again, a ghost isn't even that bad. Really? A cancellation is certainly not that bad. Alright, well this one needs the help of a tiny crochet hook, but I don't want to go get one right now. Let's just pull these ones up in the circle. And then I'm also gonna hop off. doing a second round would be even better. Not really. Yeah, maybe a little bit, actually. Maybe they're a little flatter. Yeah. Actually, it seems to be a little bit better. Interesting. I can learn. Not good or fast, but I can learn. Okay. One more. I can do it. I do not understand how this has Christmas music on it. Why? Why is it always God Rest You Merry Gentlemen? I just don't think Christmas music should exist in a Surprise Me channel. I know, Grid. I was just talking to everybody else about it, and like, my problem is I'm just tired and I don't want to do the work. And that doesn't mean you should do the work. It just... Yeah, this is God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, just jazz. The Savior was born on Christmas Day. It's in a terrible key for me to sing. But Grid had that too. Grid had the fucking metal cover of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. On whatever Grid was using. Okay, here we are. Sorry everybody that today was so low energy, but normally I take my Fridays off for a reason, and that reason is by Friday I'm low energy. Or I'm like horribly directed high energy that should not sit and be on camera. Okay. Whew. Alright, friendos, I'm so tired. I'm gonna stop and probably turn the TV on reruns of somebody else playing video games on the TV and fall asleep on the couch and wait till Grid gets home. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I won't be back this weekend, remember? I will be back Monday. I keep saying we'll try to play DK, but we'll try to play DK. Thank you for hanging out, and I will catch you next time. Have a good night.